There is no real anywhere. Anyway, there is no objective reality in life. There's only, for me, an expressive reality. I'm a photographer, a director, and a creative director. I have directed 200 television commercials, 100 music videos, and literally thousands of photo shoots. The things that I loved as a young person, and I still love today, are the works of Richard Avedon, the greatest American photographer of the mid-century period. Richard Avedon was one of my great heroes, and my very first semester as a photo major, that semester, Richard Avedon himself was a visiting artist at ArtCenter. It couldn't have been any better. The photography of George Hurrell, the greatest of the Hollywood glamour photographers of the 1930s. The films of Joseph von Sternberg with Marlene Dietrich, those to me are the very definition of what glamour is. The satirical drawings and cartoons of Charles Addams. There's one that I absolutely love. It shows the ruined living room of the Addams family mansion. Pugsley and Wednesday are building a blazing fire, and Morticia and Gomez stand at the doorway lovingly looking at their children. And the caption is, "Oh, the little darlings, they still believe in Santa Claus." That's partly who I am. The very beginning was as a 6, 7, 8-year-old. I lived on a street called Las Palmas. The original ArtCenter campus was on 3rd Street and Las Palmas. That means it was about 3 or 4 blocks from my home. I would ride my bike over to ArtCenter's campus, ditch my bike in the bushes, and literally just haunt the halls. It is one of my favorite places in the world. And I don't even mean the physical place, I mean the mental place, what ArtCenter meant to me. I think that ArtCenter gave me the skills that I needed, it gave me the knowledge, and it gave me the discipline. ArtCenter is a place that gives you more work than you could possibly do. It's tough. It's like boot camp, and at least it was when I was a student. Several things happened that were very fortunate for me. One of them was getting to meet the people at Interview Magazine and Andy Warhol. That was probably my very first break. The first time I was published was a photograph of Steven Spielberg, who was not that famous then. He was successful, but not yet who he is today. My second client was Jan Wenner, the editor-in-chief and founder of Rolling Stone. My third client was Michael Jackson. And my fourth client was Harper's Bazaar. I literally cold called and went in there and showed my portfolio. This is back in the day when you actually could have human contact, but the world was a lot smaller then, the world of photography. These were all little baby jobs, but they were jobs that were happening while I was an ArtCenter student. Within about 5 years, I was doing half the cover stories and a great many portfolios. I'm of a generation that redefined what it is to be a celebrity in an image, a photograph, a video, a film. It was a period in which many artists in pop culture looked to the past in order to find the way to the future. I don't have a cookie-cutter approach to what I do. Every solution is born of a particular problem. I want people who look at my works to feel energized and relaxed at the same time. I want them to feel a little bit the feeling of infatuation, of a love affair, a sense of romance, kind of a heightened sense. One of the other things I'm involved in now is creating fine art photography. The first project was called Talking Heads, and it's a series of portraits on a monumental scale of ventriloquism dummies. A project will come to me, I will select a piece of music out of my library that feels right for the emotion that I'd like to engender in the piece, and literally use the color aid papers. I lay the colors out over and over and over again. And at that point, the imagery and colors and music start to tell me stories. And then I can write something. And then I can develop that work. About 5 years ago, I got to do my first true brand building project, which was full ideation for a new hotel brand that ultimately was called the Redbury. It was meant to have kind of rock and roll atmosphere, rooted in American music. It's quite moody, rather bohemian. I'm more interested in how things look than how they actually are. I live in a stylized visual world. I create fantasies. They are based on my feelings and my intuitions about a particular subject. Some years passed and I created a scholarship at ArtCenter. Then I began mentoring the recipients of the Matthew Rolston Scholarship, and that led to teaching my process to others. I'm often asked by students, what is my style? I don't know what my style is. How do I find my style? Your style is made of the things that you love, the things that light you up. And getting in touch with that is the most important thing you can do to find your way through this creative world. And there's nothing like researching the things that you love. It's not work, it's joy. Yay!